So, how do you do lots of mergers and acquisition deals? Now, look, at this point, we've been involved in hundreds of those in rollups.com and acquisitions.com in the last few years alone, in almost $1 billion worth of transactions. And I want to share with you today on what I know because I think that any entrepreneur will eventually get to a point where they want to learn about acquisitions, about roll-ups, because M&A, mergers and acquisitions, is next level entrepreneurship. That's why most people are not even familiar with it, right? They don't even know that it's possible. Like if you talk to a random person in the street and tell him, hey, I'm looking to buy a business and I'm going to use other people's money to do it, they're going to be like, whoa, what are you doing? Right? It's outside their reality. But at the same time, it's a super fast way to make your to grow your business, right? To make your business bigger, or to beat competitors, or to even try to cover like more market share. And it's great for any business in the end of the day, no matter the industry. In any industry, you can find other competitors or complementary businesses, or talent that you can buy, or different technology that you can buy, so you could grow your overall business, right? So why we look at acquisitions? Because it helps your business to grow in a smart way. It's much easier to go into something proven. Not easier, but it's much smarter to go into something proven than try to build everything from scratch and reinvent the wheel on your own, or figure things out on your own, testing things. And when you do acquisitions, you can save money by spreading costs across different businesses, right? You can use the best ways from different companies to do things across the businesses that you own, and you can get the best people and customers that way as well. So what is the essence of M&A, or what do you need for good M&A? Because it seems easy, right? You find a company, you sign some papers with them, and you send them money, right? And then you own a business. But it can also be risky if you don't know what you're doing. You have to be smart about it. For example, some of the things that we like to look at is to think all the time about if the company, for example, that we're looking to buy, can they make money in the next 10 years, assuming that there's no growth. So assuming that the business is going to make the same amount of money for the next 10 years, like, can we still make money? Assuming that we buy it and maybe put debt on it, right? So we have some monthly payments to pay the debt service. So that's one of the main things you want to ask yourself to be able to do good deals. Because a lot of people, they buy businesses and they say, hey, I don't care about what I'll pay today. I know that I'm going to grow it 2x or 3x in the next 2-3 years. I'm that smart, and they just arrogant and they screw themselves. So you want to also think about the risks and the good things that can happen if you support the business and put, let's say, more effort and more accountability and more skills and more systems and maybe better tech, right? You want to think about those things, right? When you're thinking about those two things together, that's how you minimize your risk and also create some potential upside on what might be possible. But overall, I suggest if it feels too risky to go into an acquisition, it's not good, like move on. Now let's talk about kind of common hurdles in M&A. So why not everyone doing M&A? Think about it. Because first of all, like I said, most people don't even know that it's possible, because most entrepreneurs get to the point that they even understand that it's possible only when they make at least 10 million a year in revenues, or sometimes 20 and 30. And then the banks or people around them or investors tell them, hey, you now have some capital, why won't you go and buy more businesses or learn about this world? And then they come to a point where they get tons of financial institutions reaching out to them, telling them, hey, we'll give you money to buy businesses. And that's where they find out about other people's money, right? So, but other than that, why not everyone doing M&A? Because it's just not easy, as simple as that, right? This is why having a good M&A advisor helps a lot. A good advisor can help you look at all the information in a business and make sure that the company that you want to buy is a good choice, right? And the deal is a good deal. Like a good advisor could really help you do good homework on a deal. Like for me, before I say yes to a deal at this point, I learned a lot about the seller, first of all, right? I want to know also a lot about the industry and about the business in every department of the business. So a good advisor could really help you do a deep dive on the business and know if it's a good deal or not, and also to understand your cost of capital when you raise capital and your different capital structure and capital stack, right? Like at this point, I've looked at thousands of companies at this point. So when I want to buy a business now, I will first of all always look at them as if I plan to keep them for a long time, hopefully kind of like forever type of deal, like a Warren Buffett type of structure. So we use what we call like a SWOT analysis to make decisions quickly on if we like a deal or not, because we want to understand the strength, weaknesses, opportunities, threats of the business to know if we even want to get in bed in the first place, right? So we very first want to see, okay, what the deal looks like, what the cash flow looks like, what the assets we have on the balance sheet, what can we finance against receivables, inventory, other real estate that we have on the deal maybe. Like those are the first thing we want to look at. Then immediately look at different departments. Okay, what do we have in sales, marketing, operations, IT, finance, legal? What are the threats in that sector? What the predictions in the sector? Like those are immediate things that we want to look at right away to say, okay, do we even want to get into it or not? So let me walk you through some of the kind of like strategic questions that maybe you want to consider to ask. So for us at this point, before talking to a seller, like I ask myself important questions like, for example, can we use tech to grow faster and save money? Maybe this company is not using tech the right way. Can we make operations better? Like with better accountability and systems and processes? What about the team? Is there a good team in there? Or do we need to look for different people that will improve that business? Can we sell more with a better sales process, with better training? Like those questions alone, like could really help you stay focused on the most important things in business and not just make emotional decisions on deals that I'm seeing too many people doing. They're like, oh, it sounds interesting, it looks interesting, the seller, there's a good connection between me and him, I feel like I trust him. Yes, those things are important, but it's not the only thing. Like when you do a good deal, it's a combination of head and heart, right? It's kind of like a wisdom plus feeling. And in my experience, especially when you talk to sellers, like pressuring them, for example, won't help, or like playing games, like playing hard to get. I don't know, for me at least, I don't like it. I like to be straightforward in deals. So because of that, that's why I always suggest like having many companies to look at the same time, like lots of deal flow at the same time. Like you don't want to fall in love with like one deal, right? You always want to look for more good deals all the time. So even if one isn't working out, you have more ones to look at. And in the end of the day, you need to also remember M&A is not just about getting bigger just for the sake of being bigger in revenues. It's about being smarter, more efficient, and giving more values to your customers with businesses that you're buying. So if you have an existing business, it's about finding more businesses that will be complementary and beneficial to your existing customers, and not just for the sake of saying, hey, I have more revenues. Because if you want to sell the business eventually, a potential buyer will look at you just as a random group of companies that are not even related, and you won't necessarily get the bonus on the multiples that you want to get. So yeah, M&A, man, it can be the coolest adventure you'll have in business. There is a need in careful planning and sometimes courage in acquisitions, but it can really change your business. And I really suggest you to, if you can, get into this world. Hopefully it will change your life like it did mine, and at this point hundreds of other people that we worked with and helped. So yeah, remember, deal flow, the right questions, heart, mind and heart, doing some kind of a SWOT analysis as soon as possible. For me, I like to be straightforward on deals, and yeah, just those basics alone I think could really help you in your journey. So yeah, go create the world that you want. It's your life. Don't give up. I love you. Bye bye.